Alright, so I'm going to go over the rewind hardpoint in this same series. I went over the last hardpoint. The reason I'm not going over the Skyline S&D is because it's Skyline S&D. It's like you bang top hall, you bang A, you do your weight room routes or your cutoff routes today. It's very straightforward. It's not really like a high level map. It's very straightforward. Nothing to mess up about it. And then the vault control, Faze was doing a very like tailor-made kind of strategy for LA Thieves that I don't think is gonna apply to regular gameplay. Don't think it's gonna be useful, but it was a very specific where they were just assuming things that you otherwise wouldn't assume, probably based on VOD review they have of LA Thieves. So I'm gonna hop into the rewind HP here. I didn't mean to skip that far ahead at all. Hello.
Rubbing their hands together, being like, we're waiting for our moment.
It's very loud for me, but it's probably fine.
Here we go.
Stream. So you see the initial, you have two. One guy generally goes dumpster to cut these angles off and also to get a more aggressive angle on blue hole in case anyone wants to chow out and cut the mid cross kind of. You also have the option if you want to hit up mid cross and jump on this trash can. Also, when you're dumpster, you can look into hole and then look into blue through hole. There's this little line of sight right here.
Hydra in onto the point. Finds his
So thieves are just gonna like clear house here.
As the rest of his team kills all dead for Faze. Bad looks. That's all up for the LA Thieves, and that's the time. And now full.
You see the kind of vertical orientation that thieves are playing with. You have this cross cut. If he wants to wrap your outer, he can wrap your outer.
Awareness of spawns. Yeah, not even a moment.
Celium would have been wise to just wait a second for a BZ to clear this.
For Envoy to snap in position, and a BZ has to take a long round.
So you see this player Burger is kind of able to cut all these holes and once again ensure nobody can hit any routes forward, reflank glass, nothing, no funny business.
To take him down, and you saw the stat, Atlanta Faze in CDL history has only been 100.
And now Atlanta Faze are going to clean house. So it's all up to number 7 in this kind of forward position outside of blue. You do end up blocking these P2 spawns. Not that he needs to be doing that because all 4 Faze players are up. But just FYI, very important.
Point clubbed, well, now 3 times. So that's the level of pressure that LA...
So Faze are kind of going to set up, Faze are going to set up kind of a pinch on these spawns here, and Envoy should not be able to come out with it.
In the game mode, but Envoy feeling that pressure now. He is being hunted down.
And he does get hunted. He gets good help from a teammate there though. Faze are been getting this whole time, so they're gonna get mopped up, but they're gonna have info on the remaining LA Thieves players. This is gonna be fine for Faze.
But ultimately, Simp has flipped the spawns. Atlanta Faze, well, they're in the driver's seat for the rotation, but...
Okay, so yeah, so you see these 2 people spawn out. That's because you have a guy close blue. You also have a guy kind of pushed up towards green crate. So the game doesn't want to spawn them back P2. Something about this blue area, the game doesn't like spawning the other team P2 until you have the new spawns come in.
They might be behind as well because those 2 players just spawned out. Yeah, long journey now.
So Envoy's going to end up slipping behind Simp here. Simp's probably going to die for free. And you have LA Thieves able to kind of hit out through the front of time here because these 2 Atlanta Faze players spawn so far away.
If Draws can find a kill, nice. That certainly helps. Cell gets this as well. So left-hand side on the minimap.
All right, somehow Simp gets timing and Envoy's not going to clean him. So now this looked very good for LA Thieves, but just like that.
Dangerous. Do they account for Envoy? The answer right now is not yet. You know he's here now. Envoy finds his, Ghosty gets the kill as well. And
Simp should not be winning that.
Simp gets it.
And so Simp's going to just try and play his life in the back. LA Thieves are still in time. Number 2 kind of spawned Narn. And you have these 2 players front, but they're probably not going to accomplish much.
For how long, though?
You get this useless spawn. This game is terrible. That should never happen, but it did. And Simp's probably going to get traded by a guy who spawned a quarter of a second ago.
Get hunted. Simp does give you an extra one, but Envoy eventually there for the trades. And keep in mind...
But Faze is going to end up... who hit the route?
one, but Envoy eventually there for the trades. And keep in mind, this is Atlanta Faze that put
Faze just end up. There was just no one blocking. What happened to Ghosty?
The kill as well, and now the dance is on. Sim gets it.
For how long though? He is gonna get hunted.
I'm sorry, it was Envoy. Envoy dies on cross, and since Simp was the first to die out of these three, he gets the spawn in the back. No, Simp wasn't the first to die. 2 LA Thieves players died before Simp. So LA Thieves 100% should have got the spawn. But it could be that the game's just like, oh, nobody should be getting this spawn. So it's not a kill order thing. It's a position thing. It's not we're gonna spawn thieves here because it's the preferred spawn. No, it's we're not gonna spawn thieves here because number 2 is the furthest pushed up on the map. And so therefore, Faze is going to get the preferred spawn. Sometimes it works weird.
But Envoy eventually there for the trades.
That's strange.
Keep in mind, this is Atlanta Faze that put all that extra attention to going for this rotation. And it's 25 seconds in before they're able to stabilize. But they do, in fact, stabilize, able to get some of that time.
Somehow, BC's not going to die here. He's going to get info that this guy Blue Hole is going to re-hit double doors because now double doors is open. And Faze are going to keep it this time. It looked like these had a pretty good break opportunity. Oh, and he can't even kill a Beezy, and then a Beezy is going to even kill Green Crate. Wow. A Beezy not dying there in 2 situations where you would have expected him to.
3 dead once again, taking turns at wiping each other off the face of Rewind.
Oh, look at that spawn, though. They're not even going to go for it. They don't want to fight for the 15 seconds. LA Thieves, they're going to be playing.
Envoy going to get cleaned up. And so number 5 is everything. These spawns on this top side are extremely important. Generally, doesn't matter what side of the hill you're playing from. You can contest from either which way. Nades are like extremely good, and the outer routes, the routes where you cut from middle, like there's a lot of ways you can braid this. Kind of too many things to watch type situation, and like insanely good head glitches on the trucks and such.
For this rotation,
but you want the spawn scrap.
Number 2 on the minimap of BZ.
It's very important.
Fighting scrap potentially for these spawns, and scrap is going to depths to make sure.
All right, and Faze end up clearing this, and you see how they're not moving forward to cut this. They're assuming that somebody has crossed to the back, probably since their teammates somebody spawned weird, right? So they're just gonna go play for scrap in the back.
They stay ahead of the game, but scrap, well, he's gonna have Draza and a BZ to deal with.
There's just a BZ now.
You're gonna get that. Faze, who's that? That's Simp actually able to get one right there in the middle of 3 players. That's not easy. 4 is probably not getting this.
They're a lot closer than he expected.
Okay, never mind.
Here comes the counter attack from Faze.
Now Faze have good side, and LA Thieves are absorbing.
Early break and managed to secure some time.
Nades. I don't know how Cell got that.
The nades looking trophy in place finally. Drazovic scrap. Over by Trash.
Cell holding middle from stage is kind of insane. I think that there's a way you can actually see into hill. Either through like the little gap in the top side of the building or something. Or just the hole.
No, Thieves come out on top.
This is how you know it's high-level Call of Duty, though, where like every single fight for rotation takes 20 seconds before things get stable and you really get into action. And Atlanta Faze were the ones that...
One is getting a little bit antsy here. Oh, never mind. It's because nobody on LA Thieves is dead, and he has one teammate dead, so his teammates basically has to spawn in the back.
So hard for this
there's no timing where an LA Thieves player could have been in a position to block. No LA Thieves player was dead. Your teammate's dead. Yeah. So it does make sense why Jazo stopped blocking, despite that looking weird.
And it took them this long to really get firm control of the hill. Now the kills starting to flow their way, and they're set up.
Yeah, and Faze are just getting this time a little bit better than I would expect. The car. And they have spawns for next.
Long term, honestly, ridiculous IQ to shoot the car to make it explode to get the kills in those moments. Atlanta Faze now barely have the lead.
This is as good as it gets. Yeah, barely the lead over the beepers. Faze are in first. The Thieves on the prowl, though. 2 through the front, 1 through the side door.
Thieves are going to opt to break through front. This is generally more common. Owing the outer street, unless you're actively blocking front, then even if you get a kill, Buddy's just going to spawn right up, and he'll be able to reach out you. Like, so you're just giving away your position. There is a second set of spawns here, though, that need to be blocked if you're going to flip. But there are ways to block.
It might be a 3-man front door situation. Might have to form a line, lads. I'm not sure how many folks we can
Yeah,
fit.
so you have this kind of heavy front thing. Like I said, they clear time. They actually get a guy in time, so now they're just focused on cutting the back.
In this place, and that is it. Cleaned up.
And you see how they're spawning out here. Look at where number 6 is. Number 7's also in a decent spot for that, but actually, surprisingly, number 7, like the position inside of this hill doesn't really block back here all that well. For some reason, it's kind of where number 6 is, I think. It's precisely where you need to be.
You have bopped Faze out.
And how bitterly painful when at the start of P3 they spent 20 seconds fighting for the spawns, and Thieves on the top of the hill just walk straight in. Granted, Atlanta Faze
There's a cleanup. And yeah, Hydra's on outer right. I think there's something you jump up on outer that might do it.
because those two players did such a smart thing. Stay alive in the back, wait for your teammates to get
like
back
the
in the
weird
mix
head
and get
glitch.
back control of the hill again. But
So Faze are going to end up cutting the map. They have everything kind of, all their arrows pointed towards the funnel.
this is quite literally, I mean, this is the best hardpoint map already that we have seen this year. These two teams are getting after it.
Sim 2 in the feed, getting after it.
They call it a Hydra. Once again, Hydra's not going to opt to try and OE the back. He's just going to push on in, wait for his teammates most likely. Hopefully Scrap doesn't overchow here, although he might just get the kill. And just wait for your teammates, maybe go for Scrap or Row. They'll probably end up going for Row. But
Scrap now with the coverage, and he's got to go toe-to-toe.
okay, no, they didn't waste any time then.
That's ideal. Draws as well. 50 seconds left on beepers, and we're looking at the Row already. Mid-map, folks. That's where we're going.
And the biggest breath.
Faze opting to send a couple players topside for P5 Row is interesting, instead of trying to just go through semi. I don't feel like it's that hard, but if you get a guy in your like bushes, there's no way to really get in glass. You're kind of force funneled front, and they could jump over wall, or they could cut you from the back like at any point in time. So it is a little tricky.
Either of these teams can take in this moment, trying to wrap around and go towards Gens. Couple trades rolling through over towards Zig.
Okay, so you have a flip here. So there ends up being number 4 Zoe ends up flipping. And on this side, you can get some, if nobody's contesting, like if you have a clean 4 dead, if you're the side where number 4 is right here, you can spawn like basically green crate on point. Like just basically inside of the hill, whereas the other team is spawning like where 2 and 3 just spawned.
Seeing draws on the minimap, trying to hunt down Hydra. Hydra hyper prepared, but does get traded out. It is Envoy in between an Atlanta Faze sandwich.
Envoy gonna get 2, wow.
And he just delivers.
That is not an easy 2.
No way. That is
So now you see that this is flipped on its head. They clean up the back. Faze are spawning where I said. You kind of don't want to be spawning.
Sensational. Envoy again. The timing. The skill. It's all there, man. He's having one hell of a day.
And so Hydra kind of I'm not sure if he overextends, but he's playing for this last guy, and obviously LA Thieves are perfectly where there's been a flip. Hydra can't allow his team to get flanked though here, so there could be a guy truck, but
Hardpoint firmly in the hands of the Thieves now.
I think he's kind of assuming he's struck, and then once he realizes he isn't, he's like
that you try to mess with the timing on that battle, and
yeah.
Hydra more.
Because if he was outer truck, like even though there's this long line here where he could have been, where he might have got a bad timing when he tried to peek back at truck, he would have been shooting at Envoy, so, and he wasn't shooting at Envoy, so I guess he's still there, right? He just looks back into the bushes.
Do it with his team, but Thieves found a little bit of flow here on this Gens hill. Envoy kicks him off, and look at the follow-up from the boys.
That's another
Ghosty for
kind
2 in the
of
feed.
clean.
Envoy, that is 5 in
And
a
there,
row.
here you see these kind of close spawns.
And gets the stamp on the 4-man wipe. LA Thieves taking the lead.
Yeah, timing is just sensational.
Number 1 ends up getting this kill. If you get this kill, if it's earlier in the hill, it's more influential, but you do block those closer spawns, force him back P2, which is why blue control is actually pretty important, or getting a guy double doors.
Moves, man. He's still alive. He's still fighting for this one. His teammates picking up the kills. He cannot. Unbelievable work out of the Thief. Starting to pull away somewhat here. Oh, dear. Could be looking at Hellstorm soon for Envoy. P1, back to it we go.
Number 4 in the minimap, still looking for him. You're just so concerned about Envoy behind you, and Simp finally there to take him down. But LA Thieves.
Impressively, Draza's just like absorbed 11 seconds while his whole, like, everything's going horribly. He's gonna end up falling. I'm kind of interested to see what Simp does here.
Spawns, so Atlanta a little bit more pressure on, and
He's gonna end up getting knifed. Oh god. Yeah, people running around with knives in L is gonna be super annoying.
you want to get the P1 time if you can. Scrap and Hydra not gonna give it to you.
Oh my god.
And so they get that clean 4 dead, and you see they all just turn vertical.
They're there. They know
And
the
they try to like make the firing squad.
spawns as well. I mean,
So yeah, I was gonna say Ghosty's gonna kind of OE here, and that's gonna flip. And you don't want Faze to spawn here.
this is suffocating. This is
There's
good
40
roll.
seconds.
Every single time you think you're in a 1v1, no, you're in a 1v4.
This is gonna end up getting traded.
Thieves, it feels like there truly are 100 of them.
And they're not prepared. Like, they have no idea that Cell's here. But yeah, I think it's a mixture of number 5 being in the middle of the street, possibly having this line of sight opened, and number 8 being in this room that forced this spawn.
Back over to P1, and we are soaking away. Halfway done now. Counter-attack from Faze looks good. They've got the break.
It's important for Cell to get out if he can, but he's not getting out. He needed this kill and to maybe dip, but there's no escape now.
But can they account for Hydra? Here he comes, straight into the feed. The immediate dive, the Omni movement. Ladies and gentlemen, toe-to-toe with the Phenom. Pressure now on for Scrap, trying to stay alive and keep this spree going. Thieves in the hard point, shoulder to shoulder, thinking about P2, but also just so many players everywhere.
Alright, so Faze end up getting this kill, double doors, and they're going to have 3 front time, but there's a good little collapse coming. Number 7's got the cross as well.
Well, the 5 spree is about to extend. There's number 6. Gets
Number
the
8,
help for
number 8 going down there is really bad. Really bad. Number 7 should be blocking, but oh, he should be blocking, I think. As soon as P1 ends, there could be some...
7 doesn't actually finish the kill, but who does Envoy?
Okay, so number 1 ends up cleaning, and then number 5 will spawn in the back. He won't get any close, like, ridiculous spawn, at least.
Gets you the back spawns as well. Envoy is basically like the controller of the map for his team. Trying to set you up.
Draza getting one right there is big. Number 5 going down that scrap, that's an overcommitment. Number 7 gets the trade on draws, which is big, but he's kind of solo on this front hit. You can assist from blue, but there's no guarantee.
Atlanta Faze, maybe there's their hot hand. When 2 big gunfights to get Thieves out at a time, that does not last for too long.
Oh, look at this movement from Hydra.
Sim's going to end up getting 2. He's going to end up losing this gunfight, though, I think, but
Trapping Faze.
that's... Oh, but the nades. And you see this little nade spot right here, where basically where Cell is, where you're outside of glass. You can just chuck a nade on over a good little frag, and yeah, they're real effective.
Not letting them move. How did
Yeah, how did he do it? Nade.
he win that first fight?
You see the nade being thrown right there?
Draws is holding onto the point as best he can.
There it is. You saw Simp throw the nade? There it is. That's another one.
Reinforcements from Faze now in.
No, that's another nade.
Nobody home. Good nades though across the board. An explosive hard point coming to a close in 20 seconds.
And Atlanta Faze, I mean, they're fighting through the front right now. Scrap, very patient over
That's another nade.
towards the back God spot, but Atlanta Faze have just been destruction on the inside lanes. And now you're looking for the final 15 seconds.
Faze are going to end up... This is like one of the most one-sided hills, depending on where you're spawning, in the game. Maybe in the history of the game, but Faze just get like 4 nade kills. And yeah, that's enough.
Atlanta Faze have already rotated towards New, and they're still controlling you in the back spawn over towards P2. So, moment of life here for Atlanta, looking for the comeback and Envoy. Well,
So Simp aware that this guy slipped. 4 is going to be alone front. Nobody blocking, I don't believe.
looking for a route. 2 players
They're going to spawn here anyway.
effectively responsible for trying to find him, but he's just pierced the setup. He's just pierced
What do
the
I mean
setup.
anyway?
He's
No one was blocking.
already through.
Yeah, Envoy ends up slipping through past Simp. Simp knew he crossed, but he just ends up cutting everything, getting good timing as well. And that's going to be a flip.
He is handling them and setting his team up. This man is a god. He's doing it.
They're going to clean up the BZ, the last remaining player, to possibly make something happen. And now Faze are all going to be spawning front. It's just going to be about those nades, getting them off time, and then seeing how they work a flip.
Did absolutely everything. Now feeds the next kills to his teammates. That is the LA Thieves. Just when you thought the comeback was on for Faze, Envoy with the god play. Still good to go though. Faze not giving up just yet. Nice kills there from Cell. Draws pushing forward as well. Couple in the feed.
Okay. They get a couple front. 6 is going to end up cleaning this. 2 might end up trading it, or 2 might end up just going for scrap and getting the flip. If 2 kills scrap and ignore 6,
Thieves from spawn, desperately trying to get into the point. Couple of nades up. I don't see any trophies.
It doesn't work out, but Faze are still going to end up getting that time. Yeah, it ended a little weird. I didn't expect Ghosty to spawn where he did.
Either, so this is going to get ugly fast.
This map is ridiculous. So much so that it's even killing the players and getting involved.
Grab jumps out, and now you see the spawn here. He's blocking everything. Ghosty should spawn like P2.
It's Atlanta Faze.
And he does. Yep, this spawn right here, this exact, not spawn, this block right here, this exact placement.
Looking to take it. And one player for LA Thieves has been forced to spawn.
And so they get that kill on that cross. So now 3 can't block both from his position. So you're probably going to see Hydra spawn right here.
Now, so all these trades are going to be interesting. Look at the minimap and where do the dominoes
Just kidding.
end up falling? It's perilous.
I guess he was? I don't understand. Did number 2 end up blocking that at the perfect timing?
And maybe a base race to get.
So yeah, number 7 spawns where it should. 6 spawns Narn. Simp can't really do anything here.
To this new time.
And Scrap just creeping forward, trying to catch out Simp, no problem. Ghosty's there for it as well. Beeper's now ready to rock, and the Thieves, they are behind the counter. Ready for action, here we go. Faze trying to attack in from the outside, but they've got so many members of the Thieves.
Hydra almost getting 3. Yeah, he ends up getting 2 on that cut, and then finally gets cleaned up by Simp off respawn. Now we'll see how Faze plays it.
Causing problems in the middle of the map.
Now that they know everyone should be contained.
Ghosty at the front door. Envoy on.
So Abizi is going to end up getting that kill in the back. Now you have to commit another player to watch the back because Abizi just killed the guy watching the back. And he's just going to turn. Everyone's just going to turn, and they're going to try and break through front. Number 1 can get an aggressive angle here. Like somewhere around like right here. And you will end up blocking this spawn and kind of these close spawns as well, depending on how exactly how far pushed up you are. So you can flip. Draws is very important. Draza chooses to go inside of the truck. And you see he's not blocking that spawn.
You are down by 30, and that is not the...
His life is very important, but you have 2 dead. There's only so much you can do. He might be blocking both, depending on how long 4 stays up, but he, like, literally, they just might spawn here. Even with number 4 looking here, number 1 looking here. It's very sticky.
Oh, it works if your name's Envoy. Backdoor now is going to be an issue.
No, they do end up flipping. They do end up flipping with 30. That's big. And now you have, since Phaser blocking kind of the second set of closer spawns, then you have a really far out split.
Perfect comms. Selly and Funny.
And then number 6 spawns close because number 4 stops blocking at the wrong time. Ghosty's going to spawn probably with him.
He gets the break through the front, and that's 30 seconds.
No, Ghosty's not going to spawn with him. This should be set right. Ghosty should spawn like where 7 is.
Like 4.
That is
Exactly.
an unbelievably difficult break as well. Selim and Draza go crazy to make that happen. And Abizi, 14 and 20, is the standout player in the lobby in terms of struggling, and it's because he's taking long-range gunfight.
So they're going to play through front. They should clean up, but number 1 gets the spawn. You need someone here. I don't know what it is.
To get scrapped like that. Atlanta Faze had a battle to try to get this scrap time.
Yep.
And
That was a battle, all right.
That door. That is a 5 spree when you need them the most.
An unbelievable moment and a turning point here potentially for Faze. Let's go through listening on the break.
So Hydra pushes up and plays for this kill off rotation ult. Just in an annoying spot. Basically, if he gets caught out and dies, he spawns green crate. He's back at the point by the time Faze arrive for the initial break. So him getting a kill is basically like him getting in a forward position, I suppose, to put it better, is like his team is playing a 5v4 on this break. You just have an extra man that you have to work with. So you might as well just play for a cut and play aggressive, try to get a kill. So because of Hydra's positioning, though, there's going to be a weird spawn. Don't know if they'll read it. They're going to end up collapsing on point, and then they should end up going vertical here.
I'm playing this side, bro.
So for some reason, number 4 spawns here, even though where number 3 spawned, back 18, was wide open. And then as soon as number 7 pushes up and gets a line of sight on back 18 spawns, somebody on Faze spawns there. Like, what are we playing?
Well, yo, RV, guys, RV.
Number 4 actually gets a big kill because now all these close spawns that I was talking about earlier no longer exist. LA Thieves are gonna spawn like maybe here or somewhere around this this yellow building. Yeah. LA Thieves still gonna win the trade war. So despite the blocks, and Faze now they're basically just spawning equal distance, but the LA Thief players, the two that are dead, are gonna spawn very close. I'm sure of it. Yeah.
I don't see my court.
Number 4 just spawns out, I suppose, because of Ghosty's position, and I think they had comms on Ghosty, so that should have been somewhat expected. Ghosty goes down, and Faze actually ended up getting a clean 4 dead. Wow, what? That's a huge 15. Alright, so you have kind of a 2-2 split where you have 2 back 18 and then 2 spawn over here for LA Thieves. The 2 on LA Thieves, the top side of the map, right, they get cleaned up. And so these 2 down low are easily kind of targeted. So they're spawning that back 18 spawn, and yeah, these 2 players are, instead of doing anything to allow Faze to clean up and get a clean 4 dead, they're just going to play their lives. And if Faze want to come looking for them, they're going to be ready. They're probably going to get a kill, and they'll be able to kind of trade out. And if not, then they're just going to get together and coordinate a push, which is what happened. Nobody got a kill. They just kind of sat around, waited for their teammates to spawn up. Now they're going to go for a push. Alright, they get the trade on red, then this guy turns, but 7 gets the kill on him. Now 7 is going to be able to get in this position and flip. Or not flip, but potentially flip, depending on if number 8 is inside or outside. Yeah, and so you see this full flip occurs. That's just outside of that blue door, or like in this little cut right here. It likes to flip the spawns when you're in that position. So very important position to be. Celium spawns pretty far away. LA Thieves should be able to finesse some of this this P1 for sure, but this game's gonna come down to P2 unless something crazy happens. Yeah, so 5 just spawns up and immediately dies. Great spawn. And now Faze kind of have the street control, so they need to get LA Thieves off this time, just to ensure that they're not going to win off it, but they need to flip as well. They're going to contest. He's going to be annoying. They're going to end up cleaning up that time. I think, who's that? That was Envoy. Thought he was going to be prone in the entrance of the doorway. He didn't know that he just sprinted in and got behind the counter. So now Faze have this clean house, and they can send 2 people forward. One guy's probably going to watch double door. The other guy's probably going to try and go street, assuming that the last Faze player is going to spawn up and watch over him on street, and they're going to try and OE for these spawns. They'll probably go through blue side instead of fully going through the back and just trying to flip through blue, like we've seen a couple times.
Breaks on breaks in what continues to be one of the most unbelievable.
So you see the spawn out here. Number 2 chows out of double door, and then there's just a spawn out. Like, it's so strange. But yeah, the game really doesn't like when you have these angles open over here at P2. Front blue door, front in this little gap.
Hard points we've seen yet, Chance.
I mean, how about this battle? Atlanta Faze.
Huge fucking kill out of Scrap. I mean, huge. So he's gonna immediately turn his nose up, and they're gonna try and hunt down Abizi at this double door.
White, they get control. Thieves take it right back, bouncing.
5 is gonna actually try and secure this blue door flip.
Back and forth on P1, but
He's gonna lose it, and Abizi's gonna win the gunfight. Celium's gonna push up into blue door. He's gonna flip these spawns. They're probably gonna spawn 18 street, maybe. They could also spawn like back burger.
look at feed now. 2-2 split on either side, but look who.
Yeah, so it's gonna be back burger. They can still win off this barely, but it's such a scrappy hill. It's gonna be nearly impossible for LA Thieves to string it.
The spawns for new Atlanta with that advantage, but the time.
And you see LA Thieves players, they don't spawn up, and they're not interested in hitting through the back. A lot of these angles are like, you have to sprint for too long of a distance to be able to catch a timing. And while you're sprinting through those angles, they can just spawn useless first and foremost if it's actually on P2. So you're not blocking anything like fully. They can also spawn front cop car. And also, like, if you're caught in the middle, you're just getting cameraed. Someone's just gonna slide out, camera the fuck out of you. This is online COD as well. Like, you're done.
The game, Thieves can win it on P1.
Or not anymore, just managing to stop it. But the problem is, you gotta get real close.
So 3 is gonna end up getting pushed up, and this flip is gonna stick because nobody on LA Thieves has prompted a second, like a reflip.
Scrap shooting like this, dangerous.
And they're gonna keep him off this time. Faze ain't even worried about it. Look at that. That's a Beezy gets that kill. He's not going to soak that time. He doesn't want 5 seconds. He wants to make sure they get set up for new.
Moment right now. Time essential.
So you have these spawns. Number 1, that's going to be Draza's going to go to the back. He's going to play as annoying as possible.
Envoy sneaks in, grabs a moment here or there. Rotation to P2, done. Phase now in.
There's actually a Phase spawn out because of 6's position. The official P2, it doesn't really like to spawn people useless before 2 pops. Or the P2 pops. I think spawns don't really flip before the hill pops anymore. It used to be different.
Position.
But I can't precisely remember.
The flank is now open. I've got no idea.
So yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Hydra's just gonna get caught out. Even though Selim has an AR, he stands no chance in this gunfight because he's just getting cameraed.
How he found that kill.
On the minimap, that makes no sense, but Selim,
Selim's gonna slip in the back, and he's gonna try and block these usual spawns. It's fucking annoying.
Hero once, he's gotta be a hero again.
Yeah, and they're gonna end up flipping. Although Selim might be a little bit too OE'd.
LA Thieves on the time, but that is the 4-man wipe. 240.
You see Selim's looking in case someone is spawned weird. He also had a useless spawn.
3 to 210 in that moment. Thieves on the.
Oh, Selim's on point, dude, because I was tripping about it, and I was like, oh, wait. It didn't spawn there, but Selim was ready. I was saying, oh, shit, and I think he said, oh, shit, too.
Perfect swap of placement. Here we go. Once again, another.
So, number 1, in this annoying position, there's a lot of annoying positions you can play to cut this, but he's going to end up shooting first, not getting the kill. On Scrap here, he'll get cleaned up for free. Number 6 is a very important kill here.
Hydra. Through the front, we now go. Time ticking away for Faze. Hydra's pitch. Will it work out? No, he's been spotted.
Oh, he slips, and he's going to kill him.
Has he been dealt with? He's in. What? Get the kills.
Oh, but that's still clean.
Okay. Doesn't get enough. His teammates lose the front, so we're looking at a lead change momentarily. My God, what a hard point.
So, yeah, these nades, just chuck them over. But number 2 is just holding pretty. Nah, there he goes. Now 3's going to fill. And that's a little freaky because you're looking at Envoy as your first spawner kill order.
With the nade, gets him off the time.
You also have these little 2 players in this gap. I think if any of these 2 players kill number 4 and they're in this gap, then things can get really weird really quick. But Envoy's just gonna spawn out.
Still gonna have to contest for at least 2.
And now you see these front useless spawns. Yeah, that's game.
Or to force the rotation. Atlanta Faze can still win it here, and Selim wants it.
Envoy, can he get it done? No, he can't get close enough. The game is going to keep going. No one's close. No nades. No nothing. Game 5.
Wow.
Atlanta Faze.
That was a really good game. Like a nice little high-level game. Like I said, Rewind is very technical. It's not like bang-out oriented. Like frequency, P4 comes to mind, even P3. Spawns are just absolutely priority. You don't send one guy to get spawns, maybe 2 guys to get spawns. You work for spawns with the entire team, right? So it's probably the most technical map we've had in a long time. With some bad spawns, some awful spawns, let me tell you. But regardless, very technical map. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know this series went map 5, so I'll watch map 5 and see if it's worth going over. And if not, then I'll just skip over. So I'll leave it here.